I remember one of my first questions to myself was, well, how do I get started? Like, what do I do? How do I get started? What, and then I'm like, well, let me watch this guy. Let me watch this guy. Let me watch this guy. And I'm like, oh, I want to emulate them. I want to imitate them. I want to be just like that person. And then you try to do those kind of things. And what you're going to find out, if you just try to imitate somebody else, it's most likely going to be apparent that it's not genuine, that it's not you, because it won't seem real to other people. You might be pretty good at faking it, but trust me, people will notice. They will notice it's not genuine. So rather than imitate someone else, take aspects of what they do that you like, but be yourself. When I wonder what should a video title be that I upload to YouTube, well, what would I search for? What would I search for? And then I'll put that out there, right? When I'm thinking about what content do I want? Well, what would I want to look at? What would I want to listen to? What questions do I have right now? And that's what I'll make a video on. Now, a part of that, you can't do that all the time, but in my opinion, that's the best way to do it, because if you make something that you're satisfied with, that you would watch, trust me, you're not so unique that no one else thinks like you. People will search for the same terms that you did, right? They will. I guarantee you they will. Then you start thinking about, well, gear. When I first started streaming, I had a Chromebook, so I couldn't install any kind of executable. And when I just started streaming on Twitch, you can't put an overlay on there. And that sucked. So I got Lightstream, which is a purely web-based streaming platform that connects directly with Twitch, on Xbox anyway. You connect Lightstream and Twitch, and then Lightstream feeds your overlay, right, to Twitch, and then it sends it out, and there you go. And so I was able to use the webcam on my Chromebook as an input into Lightstream's web service, and then that worked. So that worked out well, right? That worked out really well. But you'll probably fairly quickly realize that there is a lot to think about. There is just an awful lot to think about. And then it gets kind of overwhelming. But I'm here to help you. But gear is absolutely not the first thing you should be concerned about. You need to figure out why you want to get into streaming. Do you literally just want to get on and be able to have a place to play with your friends? Some people I know, they just get into streaming because they want to be able to unlock the ability to have emotes. But if your reasons for getting into streaming, and any kind of streaming, games, art, music, just chatting, content like I'm doing, you have got to figure out what that motivation is and put a plan around it. Because if you don't, you're probably going to fail. 60% of new streamers quit within 6 months. Generally, because they didn't realize how hard this is and how much goes into it. And if I'm making you upset right now, if I'm making you depressed right now, this is just truth for you. If you want to get monetized, if you want to turn this into something, then what you need to do is you need to brand yourself. How do you first figure out what the brand is? A brand is something that is, it's a name, it's a logo, it's a tagline, it's a look to you, to your stream, some combination of those kind of factors that are unique to you, that separate you from your competition, and that let people know what it is that you do and what it is that you offer. Figure out what it is about you that you think is unique. What attributes about you, about what you offer, about what you do, about what you want to do. What is that, right? And once you can start figuring out what that is, then you want to start building those brand elements I talked about around that idea of what it is that you want to do. Anything you do as your brand, build your brand, good and bad. So if you go on Twitter and you just go on and rant, guess what? Those tweets are now associated with your brand. If you are streaming and you decide to go on a rant about something, guess what? That rant gets clipped and becomes part of your brand. You may not want that, so don't do it. Now you got to do something. So to this point, you haven't done anything yet. So now you got to do something. And one of the first parts in doing something is having the gear to do it with. Now, gear isn't, like I said, it's not the first thing you need to be worried about. Think about all the other stuff first. But when you do start thinking about gear, remember, you don't need everything all at once. You need to pay attention to your specific financial situation and look at that and list out the things that you need versus the things that you want. If you have a webcam, you might not need a webcam, but you might if the one you have is garbage. Maybe it's the first thing you need to upgrade, but maybe you don't have a mic at all. So get the mic first. Yeah, your webcam's shitty. Sorry, but you don't have a mic. Get a mic and then upgrade your webcam. When you are thinking about gear, the first thing that you should get before anything else is a mic. Now, a lot of people think, oh, they need the camera first. And my webcam has a camera. Yeah, well, my webcam has a mic. Almost all webcam mics are garbage. Almost all webcam mics are garbage. So don't even think about that as an option. You're much better off just using the mic on your headset than you are using your webcam mic. Like, seriously. But you need a way to talk to people. A webcam is fine for them, and that's important, definitely is important, but you need a way to talk to people. And so I've seen plenty of streams that are engaging without a mic, without a webcam, simply because they have an audio feed and they're talking to people. And that is so much more engaging than just if somebody has a god awful or terrible mic. So get your audio right. You don't have to buy a mic like this. If you really wanted a good quality one, you can get the Shure MV7, which is super quality, but it's USB and XLR, so you can use it with whatever interface you have. If you have an audio mixer, you can use XLR. If you just have your computer, you can use the USB, and it's super great quality. It's $250, which is more than some people want to spend, and I get that. So you get something else like a Blue Yeti. It's $100. It might still be like a lot, but it's a really good one. Yeah, absolutely. Follow that right up with a video, with a webcam. I'm not a fan of built-in stuff on your like your laptop or whatever, if that's what you're using to stream with. You at least need a standalone USB webcam. I would typically recommend people to get something like from the Logitech family, simply because while it might not be the flashiest out there, it's proven quality and they have a good range of equipment and price range. So like, I think their most expensive one is the StreamCam, which is, gosh, 150, 175. And like the C920, which is less than 100, is a good one to get as well. All right, so this is the AverMedia. This is the one that was just in back. This is the AverMedia PW513. This is a ultra wide field of view, field of vision webcam, 94 degrees. The Canon, the body of the camera I have doesn't matter. It's the lens. The lens that I'm using, the Rokinon 2.8, this has a 115 degree field of vision. And in fact, I can do this too, because I think I still have this scene set up. So this is both cams literally side by side. I did a stream last week where I was comparing them. The stream on the right is altogether that with the lens and the body is about, well, I have it right there, $1,230, not including tax and shipping. The one on the left, your left, I guess you see it on your left, yeah, that is the AverMedia, is 180. So while in fact it looks more saturated right now, I probably could turn the saturation down, but Yeah. The Avery Media is an awesome camera. Yeah, 180 might be a lot for a standard webcam, but you're getting a widescreen one that shoots in 4K. Did I mention that? It shoots in 4K. It's 1080p 60 is what you're looking at it right now. So when I do this test, if you do this test on your webcam and you see a lot of ghosting, that means it's just you need to try to increase your frames per second. So not only does my Canon obviously not do that, the Avery Media also is not doing that, because yeah, it's 1080p 60. So it's a pretty good cam, man. If you can swing 180, I totally recommend it. Definitely before you shell out the money for a DSLR or mirrorless camera, no matter what manufacturer you buy it from. And another thing, last point I'm gonna make about cameras is, if you are primarily gaming, or if you are primarily shooting in this kind of setup where you basically your camera is basically in a corner, don't overpay for your camera. Don't overpay for your camera, because you aren't going to see the quality difference when it's that size. You're just not. Unless you're gonna do something like I do, where it's mostly full screen most of the time, where you can tell the difference. Don't do it. Don't waste your money on it. When you get video, invest in some lighting too. You don't have to invest a lot. You can find some good ones by a company called Newer. They make a wide range of equipment that is priced affordably. So invest in lighting. Bad lighting and a good camera make for a bad picture. A bad camera and good lighting make for a better picture. So the last thing I'm gonna talk about is monetization. You need to understand that when you get monetized, in order to get monetized, every platform, because whether you're doing it on Twitch, whether you're doing it on YouTube, whether you are trying to do it on Twitter or Facebook or Insta, whatever, each of those platforms has different requirements to get to the point where you can make money from that platform.